Have a nice day. Today is Thursday, 30th of January 2025. This day is celebrated as World Leprosy Day. Internationally, as we know, disabilities do not occur overnight but happen after a prolonged period of undiagnosed disease. In Indian history, January 30th is known as the Martyrs' Day or Shahid Divas in India. It is celebrated to honor Mahatma Gandhi, who was assassinated on this day in 1948. What happened on Martyrs' Day is that the president or vice president, prime minister, and other officials lay wreaths at a Rajghat Memorial. Armed forces personal sound last post. A 2-minute silence is observed across the country at 11 a.m. People hold prayers and sing tributes. On the Martyrs' Day, Mahatma Gandhi was a leader in India's non-violent fight for independence. Nathuram Godse assassinated Gandhi while he was on his way to prayer meeting in Delhi. Now, starting the newspaper with the world news, including RFK Jr. grilled by United States senators on vaccines, abortion, and the first confirmation hearing as Trump's health secretary. Trump ordered the setting up of a migrant detention center at Guantanamo Bay. White House revokes Trump's funding freeze ahead of court hearing. What F-35 fighter jet crashes in Alaska, pilot ejects safely. Who is Caroline Leavitt, youngest White House press secretary married to 60-year-old tycoon? Hamas is set to release 3 Israelis and 5 theists this week, Israel officials says. Now, starting with the Hindu newspaper, we have the Ukraine drones hit Russian oil pumping station missile storage site. Servicemen of the tank battalion of 128th Mountain Assault Transcarpathian Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine fired a tank during a training aimed Russia's attack on Ukraine in Zaporizhzhia region, Ukraine, January 28, 2025. The attack also hit a Russian missile storage facility in Russia's Tver region, causing a string of explosions, the source told Reuters. An overnight Ukraine drone attack hit Russia's Andriapol oil pumping station, part of the oil export route via the Baltic Sea port of the Ostluga, causing a fire and oil products to leak, a source in the security service of the Ukraine said on Wednesday. The attack also hit a Russian missile storage facility in Russia's Tver region, causing a string of explosions, the source told Reuters. Reuters could not independently verify the information. The source said the filtration pump site and tanks with the advertisements were damaged in the attack that supplies via the main pipeline to the Ostluga terminal had temporarily been suspended. At least 18 killed after a small plane crashes in the remote part of the South Sudan. South Sudan Red Cross workers carry the bodies of the people who died after the plane crashed at the Unity Oilfield Airport at the Juba Airport, South Sudan, January 29, 2025. The plane crashed while it was taking off near an oil field to head to the international airport in the Juba, the South Sudan capital. A small plane crashed in a remote part of the South Sudan, killing at least 18 people on Wednesday, an official said. The flight, characterized by Chinese oil firm Creator Pioneer Operating Co., had 21 people on board, including the 2 pilots, said Gatwich Bipal, the Minister of the Information in the oil-rich Unity State, where the crash happened earlier on Wednesday. The plane crashed while it was taking off near an oil field to head to the international airport in Juba, the South Sudanese capital, he said. It was not immediately clear what caused the crash, then authorities had not yet revealed the identities of the victims. Local media reported that the plane was carrying oil workers. While signing Laken Relay Act, Trump says he will send worst criminal alliance to Guantanamo. President Donald Trump signs the Laken Relay Act in the East Room of the White House Wednesday, January 29, 2025 in the Washington. President Donald Trump on Wednesday used a signing a ceremony for the Lincoln Relay Act to announce that his administration plans to send the worst criminal aliens to detention in the Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. President Donald Trump on Wednesday, January 29, 2025, signed a Lincoln Relay Act into law, giving the federal authorities broader power to deport immigrants in the United States illegally who have been accused of crimes. He also announced at the ceremony that his administration planned to send the worst criminal aliens to a detention center in the Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The bipartisan act, the first piece of the legislation approved during the Mr. Trump's second term, was named about Riley, a 22-year-old Georgian nursing student who was slain last year by a Venezuelan man in the United States illegally. Rebel leader Ahmed al-Shara named Syria's interim president. Rebel leader Ahmed al-Shara has been appointed as transitional president of Syria. The appointment of Ahmed al-Shara, who was once aligned with al-Qaeda as Syria's president in the transitional phase, came after a meeting of the former insurgent factions in the Damascus. The Syrian factions that toppled President Bashar al-Assad named an Islamist former rebel leader as the country's interim president on Wednesday in a push to protect a united front as they face the monumental task of rebuilding Syria after nearly 14 years of the civil war. The former insurgents also threw out the Syria's constitution adopted under Assad, saying a new character would be drafted soon. Now, going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that death penalty an exception, not the rule. Supreme Court. The court underscored that while the crime was brutal and deeply disturbing, the absence of the criminal antecedents, favorable prison reports indicating a scope for rehabilitation and legal precedents weighed against the imposing capital punishment. The Supreme Court has reaffirmed that not every case of multiple murders qualifies as a rearrest of the rare instance warranting the death penalty, particularly when there is a potential for reform. In a significant ruling, a bench of the Justice Vikram Nath, Sanjay Karol, and Sandeep Mehta recently commuted the death sentence of a man convicted of murdering his wife and 4 minor daughters, sentencing him instead of to life imprisonment without remission. The court underscored that while the crime was brutal and deeply disturbing, the absence of the criminal antecedents, favorable prison reports indicating a scope for rehabilitation and legal precedents weighted against imposing capital punishment. Maharashtra withdraws funding for eggs and sugar for midday meal scheme. In the month of November 2023, the Maharashtra government, in a bid to overcome protein deficiency among the students, had introduced 1 egg per week for each student beneficiary of the midday meal scheme. The Maharashtra government on Tuesday announced that it will be discontinuing funding for eggs and sugar for the midday meal program for its government-run schools. Tuesday's government resolution also says that should school management committees, SMCs, insist on providing their students with eggs, they will have to generate resources through the contributions by the public. Egg pulao and sweet dishes such as rice kheer and nachani satwa remain optional, but schools must arrange funds for sugar and eggs through public contribution, reads the GR. ISRO's 100th mission from the Sriharikota takes off. Sriharikota, January 29. The NVS-02 navigation satellite set to aboard the launch vehicle GSLV F-15 from the Satish Dhawan Space Center SDSC in the Sriharikota on Wednesday. At 6:23 on Wednesday, when a GSLV F-15 rocket carrying the NSV-02 took off from the Indian Space Research Organization's launch center at the Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh, it was not just another satellite launched by the space agency. It was 100th. This mission is the 100th launch from our launch pads, which is very a significant milestone for India. said Indian Space Research Organization Chief V. Narayan. The launch is the first since he took office on January 16. The launch marks the 8th operational flight of the India's geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle with an indigenous cryogenic stage. NVS-02 is a part of the naval constellation and will aid in terrestrial, aerial, and maritime navigation and precision agriculture. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated ISRO on its historic 100th launch. Congratulations to the ISRO on the historic 100th launch. This incredible milestone illustrates the vision, dedication, and commitment of our scientists and engineers. With the private sector joining hands, India's space journey will continue to attain new heights, he said on the platform X. Jammu raids at 25 Rajouri locations linked to terrorists. Director General of Police Nalin Prabhat meets Jawans at a forward post on the Kutwa border. Police on Wednesday conducted raids at 25 locations in the Rajouri district to smash a terror network of proscribed Jaish-e-Mohammed, JEM, and the Lashkar-e-Toiba terror outfits, which have been working to activate overground workers. Officials say the house of the terrorists operating from across the line of control were the targets of the raiding teams. The combing operations in the high altitude areas and the forest belt along the LOC concluded without any contact with the terrorists, the officials said, adding the security forces have stepped up the anti-terrorist operations to ensure that terrorists could not utilize the winter to establish their bases with the PTI inputs. DGP takes stock of security at a forward basis. Director General of Police Nalin Prabhat, along with the ADGP Jammu Zone Anand Jain, Jammu Kutwa Samba Range DIG Shiv Kumar Sharma, and the Kutwa SSP Sohbit Saxena visited the forward operating bases on Kutwa border, officials said. During the visit, the DGP interacted with all the ranks of various security forces. He was briefed on the current security scenario and the challenges, said an official spokesperson. The DGP emphasized on the need for operational alertness, focused execution of tasks, and resolute will. He appreciated the special teams for their proactive approach and dogged determination. Expected wet spell in Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir for a week. The Indian Meteorological Department Shimla office has predicted light precipitation at isolated places in the higher reaches of the Himachal Pradesh on the Thursday. The snow covered by Pir Panjal mountain range in the Kashmir Valley. According to IMD, light rain or snowfall is expected in the higher reaches of Chamba, Kangra, Kinnaur, Kulu, and Lahaul Spiti districts on Friday and Saturday, while the isolated places in the lower parts of the state, including the Bilaspur, Unnas, Solan, and Hamirpur districts, are expected to experience the light rainfall. Moreover, light precipitation is expected on February 2nd. Light to moderate precipitation is likely at few places on the February 3rd, followed by the light moderate precipitation at many places on February 4th. Met Office has predicted erratic weather conditions in the Jammu and Kashmir for the next 7 days. For next 7 days, the weather will remain generally cloudy with light rain and snow at isolated places. Mr. Modi corners Aam Aadmi Party on the poisoning river claim. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses a public meeting held ahead of the Delhi Assembly elections at Yamuna Khadar Gonda in the New Delhi, India on Wednesday. PM Narendra Modi on Wednesday attacked former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal over his claims that Haryana was poisoning the Yamuna's waters, calling it an insult to the people and character of the Bharatiya Janata Party BJP ruled state, as he sought to the corner of the Aam Aadmi Party AAP on an allegation that has erupted into a major flashpoint ahead of the next week's polls. Now, going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, Cabinet approves critical minerals mission with a rupees 16,300 crore outlay, with rupees 3,000 crore budgeted for the National Mineral Exploration Trust NMET and rupees 4,000 crore for the Geological Survey of India GSI. The NCMM targets 1,200 domestic critical mineral exploration projects till 2030 to 31. Announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in the last year of Union's budget, the mission aims to strengthen the India's critical mineral value claim. Government launches credit guarantee scheme for MSME, a minimum scale and micro MSMEs announced in the financial year 2025 budget. The scheme will be applicable to all the loans sanctioned under the MCGS MSME during the period of the 4 years from the date of the issue to operational guidelines of the scheme or till cumulative guarantee of rupees 7 lakh crore are issued, whichever is earlier, it said. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Expansion plans at Indian Railways. Only Triple P model wagon repair workshop in Wadlapuri. A daily wage worker from the Jharkhand, Kumar, which specializes in the gas cutting and welding of damaged wagon body. An important part of the periodic overhaul (POH) of the freight wagon. Spread in around 203 acres of the Wadlapuri, the Indian Railways only PPP-based wagon repair workshop is planning to expand and start construction of more workshops at the remaining part of the land. Fed hold rates steadily. Sees inflation as evaluated as a Powell declines comment on Trump. In a statement, the Fed city said the job market is solid and noted that the unemployment rate has stabilized at low level in the recent months. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell speaks during the news conference after the Federal Open Market Committee meeting Wednesday, January 29, 2025 at the Federal Reserve in Washington. Now going to the science and tech, we have the Meta agrees to pay $25 million to settle Trump lawsuit after the January 6 suspension. The Wall Street Journal was first to report on the settlement. Meta has agreed to pay $25 million to settle a lawsuit filed by the President Donald Trump against the company after it suspended his accounts following the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, AP sources said. Meta has agreed to pay $25 million to settle a lawsuit filed by President Donald Trump against the company after it suspended his accounts following the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol. According to three people familiar with the matter, it is the latest instance of a large corporation settling litigation with the president, who has threatened retribution on his critics and rivals, and comes as a Meta and its CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, have joined other large technology companies in trying to ingratiate themselves with the new Trump administration. The Wall Street Journal was first to report on the settlement. About 9 months after being expelled from the major social media platform, Trump in October 2021 announced the launch of his own new media company with its own social media platform. Trump says his goal is launching the Trump Media and Technology Group, and the Truth Social application was to create a rival with the big tech companies that have shut him out and denied him the megaphone that was paramount to his national rise. While he often first to post his policy announcements, memes, and various insights on the Truth Social, he has relied on his return to X and Facebook to amplify those messages to the platform far-wide audiences. Mexico to send Google letter over the Gulf of Mexico name change. Google said it would change the name of Gulf of Mexico for users of Google Maps in the United States. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum said on Wednesday that her government will send a letter to Google after the internet giant said it would change the name of the Gulf of Mexico. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum said on Wednesday that her government will send a letter to Google after the internet giant said it will change the name of the Gulf of Mexico for users of the Google Maps in the United States. Osmania General Hospital to have 2,000 beds, modern operation theater, centralized diagnostic hub. Health Minister C. Damodar Raja Narasimha, along with the Health Secretary Christina Z. Chongtu, during a review meeting on the Osmania General Hospital. The upcoming Osmania General Hospital in the Gosha Mahal will be spread over the 32 lakh square feet and accommodate 2,000 beds, in bringing it in line with the global healthcare standards, said the Minister of the Health, C. Damodar Raja Narasimha. While announcing the development of the Thursday, simultaneously he stated that the heritage building's long-standing structure would be rebuilt in the modern manner to enhance patient care and medical efficiency. The new hospital will be constructed over 26.30 acres of the Goshamal, expanding its specialized departments from the 22 to 30 advanced units for organ transplantation, dermatology, and high-tech surgical procedures will be introduced. The expansion will also support the medical education with new colleges for nursing, dental, and physiotherapy studies, contributing to a steady supply of trained healthcare professionals. To enhance safety and security, the campus will house the fire station and a police outpost. This project is not just about expanding Osmania General Hospital, it is about restoring its legacy while setting new benchmarks in the medical excellence, the ministry said. CSIR IICT Chief Scientist appointed as the Director of CSIR National Environment Engineering Research Institute, S. Venkata Mohan, Chief Scientist at CSIR Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, CSIR IICT Hyderabad, has been appointed as Director of CSIR National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, Nagpur. Chief Scientist at CSIR Institute of Chemical Technology, CSIR IICT in Hyderabad, S. Venkata Mohan, has been appointed as the Director of CSIR National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, CSIR, NEERI, Nagpur. Chief Scientist since 1998, Dr. Mohan has been the Chief Scientist at the IICT and since 1998 has been earned his BTech in Civil Engineering and MTech in Environmental Engineering and PhD from Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. His academic experience, including a position as a visiting professor at Kyoto University and an Alexander von Humboldt Fellow at the Technical University in Munich, Germany. The noted scientist had received numerous accolades, including the prestigious Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize, the INA Sir Abdul Kalam Technology Innovation National Fellowship, and the Tata Innovation Fellowship, and others. Supervised 42 PhD scholars. He has supervised 42 PhD scholars with a research focus on sustainability and circular bioeconomy. He has advanced technologies in bioenergy decarbonization, microbial electrochemical systems, biorefiners, and waste valorization. Dr. Mohan has also authored over 450 research articles, 64 book chapters, and 5 books with 16 patents to his credit as per a press release. Women seek treatment for a cataract later than men. Impacting outcomes, find a study. During the study period of over 12 years, from 2012 to 2023, Aravind Eye Hospital in Tamil Nadu found that a woman presented with worse vision than men in all age groups and among all segments. Women also spend less on the intraocular lens needed for surgery compared to men. An analysis of the success of cataract surgeries in the Tamil Nadu has found that women and girls in the general receive treatment for cataract surgeries later than men. As a result, their post-operative vision is also poorer. Also, women tend to spend less money on the intraocular lens needed for the cataract surgery as compared to men. Aravind Eye Hospital, a premier eye care center headquartered Madurai, conducted a retrospective study of the cataract surgeries it performed over the period of 12 years from 2012 to 2023. The study changing patterns in the cataract surgery, indications, outcomes, and costs 2012 to 2023. A retrospective study at Aravind Eye Hospital India was published in the February month of 2025 edition of the Lancet Regional Health Southeast Asia. At last, there is a famous personality of India and a famous freedom fighter leader. M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, birth anniversary 2nd October 1869 up to 30th of January 1948, was an Indian lawyer, anti-colonial nationalist, and a political ethicist who employed non-violent resistance to lead the successful campaign for India's independence from the British rule. He inspired movements for civil rights and freedom across the world. The honorific Mahatma, from the Sanskrit meaning great soul or venerable, first applied to him in the South Africa in 1914, is now used throughout the world. Assuming leadership of the Indian National Congress in 1921, Gandhi led nationwide campaigns for easing poverty, expanding women's rights, building religious and ethnic amity, ending untouchability, and above all, achieving Swaraj or self-rule. Gandhi adopted short dhoti woven with the hands spun yarn as a mark of identification with India's rural poor. He began to live in the self-sufficient residential community, to eat a simple food and undertake a long fasts as a means of the both introspection and political protest. Bringing anti-colonial and nationalism to the common Indians, Gandhi led them in the challenging the British imposed salt tax. With the 400-kilometer 250 mile Delhi Salt March in the 1930 and in calling for the British to quiet India in 1942, he was imprisoned many times and for many years in both South Africa and India. Gandhi's birth as the day, that is 2nd October, is commemorated in India as Gandhi Jayanti, a national holiday, and worldwide as the International Day of Non-Violence. Gandhi is considered to be the father of the nation in post-colonial India during India's nationalist movement, and in several decades immediately after, he was also a commonly called Bapu, an endearment roughly meaning father. Gandhi's vision of an independent India based on the religious pluralism was challenged in the early 1940s by a Muslim nationalism, which demanded a separate homeland for Muslims within the British India. In August of 1947, Britain granted independence, but the British Indian Empire was partitioned into two dominions, a Hindu majority India and the Muslim majority Pakistan. As many displaced Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs made their way to their new lands, religious violence broke out, especially in the Punjab and the Bengal. Abstaining from the official celebration of the independence, Gandhi visited the affected areas, attempting to alleviate distress in the months following, and undertook several hunger strikes to the top religious violence. The last of these was begun in Delhi on January 12, 1948, when Gandhi was 78. The belief that Gandhi has been too resolute in his defense of both Pakistan and Indian Muslims spread among the some Muslims in the India. Among these was the Nathuram Godse, a militant Hindu nationalist from Pune, Western India, who assassinated Gandhi by firing 3 bullets in his chest at an interfaith prayer meeting in Delhi on 30th January 1948. Mr. Gandhi says a very famous quotation. He says that if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning. Okay, thank you.